Welcome to Fighting Saints Weekly, fans. Jordan Coons with you, recapping what was a fun weekend in Tri-City and looking up ahead to the weekend that is a home game finally against Sioux City and then a trip to Chicago. Last week in Tri-City on Friday, it was not the result they wanted. A loss in the first game 4-1, and then a dramatic 4-2 victory on Saturday, which was capped off by a Nathan Soucis marker, which was quite dramatic in the grand scheme of things, going down late with a shorthanded opportunity against, and then coming through with that goal was big to cap off, which was a very difficult road trip going from the furthest east point to the furthest west point. Was quite difficult when it all was said and done. As for the breaking news that came through, forward Trey Dodd has been traded. He is going off to Sioux City. And an interesting little move there, perhaps some opportunity for some other guys to get bumped up in the lineup. We'll see how that affects things this upcoming weekend, though Trey will be here. He will be with the Musketeers right here at the Mystique Community Ice Center, wearing a very familiar number for him. His late father, having played for the Musketeers, wore number 17. That's where he'll be wearing with the Musketeers. So he'll be back here on Friday night. As what we look at back to the highlights, you can check out this annotation as well as the link in the description for that. But let's get some reaction from the players here before we jump in to look ahead to the upcoming weekend.
We just wanted to compete. And hard work is what gets you wins, and doing the right things at the right times in the D zone, and playing defense first, which leads to transition and offense, and battling for 60 minutes because we know it can take 60 or plus. And it took about 58.5 on Saturday, so that's what we got the job done.
It took a lot of hard work, and I thought we had a great week of practice. Coming in the weekend, we had a lot of confidence. First game didn't go too great, but the second game we came in with a lot of confidence, and I thought we played really well.
You had a couple of spectacular saves throughout. Is there a comfort factor you're settling in? Didn't start the month great, but you've kind of settled in here a little bit.
Yeah, I felt pretty good. I had to take a couple shots to get into the game a little bit, and once I made a couple more saves, I felt pretty confident and felt like I was in the zone.
What was the difference between Friday and Saturday and beyond here?
I think we all came together Saturday and looked ourselves in the eye and said we had to do more and almost do less individual stuff and work together and use our strengths and use our skating and speed to defeat a good team on the West there.
Take us through the goal, the game winner on Saturday.
We had a great, I want to say it was a great on the boards play there by Kersey and O'Leary, who kind of got the puck pinned. They pinned it back in. Then I was fortunate enough for O'Leary to chip it out, and I had a race against a guy and got a step on him and used some power and strength to get around him and put it under the goalie's leg.
Well, up next for the Saints this weekend is a celebration of NHL All-Star Weekend. The Sioux City Musketeers come to town. They're a team that has been dealing with a ton of injuries, and most principally, they lost most of the games in November and December. It's been a difficult stretch for them, but they only find themselves 1 point out of the playoff picture in that crazy Western Conference, where the last-place team is not entirely out of it yet, if you want to believe that. As for the Saints, they find themselves 1 point out of second, but also 2 points out of the playoffs, period. That's where the urgency has to be here this weekend and throughout the entire month of February upcoming, as most of the games will be at home. As for Chicago, it comes down to, can they get success against a team where they've had zero success against? The Steel have won all three and have allowed 1 goal against total in those 3 games. And Daniel Vladar has been a big reason for that success. The big 6'6" Boston Bruins draft pick has been a big reason why the Steel have been really good this season against the Fighting Saints. As a whole, the Steel have not been great. They've been sitting towards the middle of the Eastern Conference. They've played the most games in the conference, so their playoff hopes don't look tremendous. They're going to have to go on quite a run here to get it done. One other thing on the Sioux City side of things, they hold one of the league's best all-time 16-year-old players, and we saw a pretty darn good one here last year. But this one, and Eli Tolvanen, look out for him for the Musketeers. That'll be the celebration of NHL All-Star Weekend. Wear your favorite NHL jersey to the game and just celebrate what's going to be the 3-on-3 tournament in which Johnny Gaudreau will be at and representing the Calgary Flames. One other note to pass along before we wrap this up is that on the 5th of February, we have our Mommies and Minions Night, which is sponsored by Alliant Energy. The Minions will be running around town, so look out for them. We got a couple of fun things planned for that upcoming. So stay tuned to our social media throughout the next couple of weeks on that one. Signing off here for Fighting Saints Weekly, Jordan Coons. We hope to see you here if you can't make it. The tickets here, 563-583-6880. Online at DubuqueFightingSaints.com. But if you can't make it, Super Hits 106 has you all set up with yours truly, and a return for Don Keck to the broadcast booth as well. So long, everybody. We'll talk to you then.